Welcome. For the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is Mobile Forensics Challenges on iOS and Android. We appreciate everybody coming. Today we really want to talk about the state of mobile as it is today, where it's going, and what kind of things that we see and we face on a day-to-day basis. A little bit about myself. I spend most of my days hacking on mobile. Anytime I see an exploit or something new come up, I immediately want to grab a phone and test it. I currently, besides my time here at viaForensics, I also teach. I got a Master of Science in Information Security back last year, just over a year ago, and before that was doing my capstone on forensic examinations on mobile. So I've been doing this for a little while now, as have us as a company. We are viaForensics. We've been around since 2009 and started really as a forensics and specifically mobile forensics company. We've expanded into the security realm and really have a 10-person team that's dedicated to mobile security and mobile forensics R&D. And all of that we put directly back into our products and give to you. Again, about the beeps, I apologize. WebEx hasn't quite figured this out, so we're going to go through the intro stuff now while the beeps are going on. But if you want to know more about viaForensics, I'd be happy to chat offline or hit us up on our website. We're always happy to talk about what we're doing. And we're going to talk a little bit about our products at the end as well. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, I want to first talk about, really what's going on in mobile, what's wrong, what's right, and how we fix what's wrong or how we circumvent some things. Kind of include some of the challenges and also what's going to be coming up on the horizon. And this is really driven by, the push in mobile device, in where mobile devices have gone. As you can see, in 2012, there were almost 700 million smartphones shipped. Well, in 2017, they're projecting that to be 1.4 billion phones. Tablets, smartphones, mobile technology is increasing, while desktop PCs, while staying relatively steady, are actually going to be dropping a little bit, especially in comparison to the tech that we see. Just yesterday, Samsung unveiled their smartwatch. Phones technology is getting smaller and smaller and more advanced every day. And this is a direct representation of what smartphones are today. When we talk about mobile forensics, it's not just phone calls anymore, text messages, and it's not just computers. People say smartphones are computers. I say that's incorrect. I think they're much more than that. Computers themselves don't typically have GPS tracking, or they don't have gyroscopes, they don't have pressure sensors, whereas that's something that your smartphone has. And you put it in your pocket and you carry it around with you all day. It's on, and it's actively collecting data and collecting all these sensors and data from those. One thing I always like to surprise some of my friends with is I talk about EXIF data on photos. Many of you are probably aware of it. Look for it very routinely in mobile forensics examinations and computers as well. And I say that your photos probably tell you exactly where they were taken, or at the very least, using course GPS or course location triangulation, it's going to tell you, pretty close to where you were. And they say, no, I have that turned off on my phone. And I say, check the details on your photos. And sure enough, it's in there, typically whether you have it enabled or not. So, these are things that provide plethora of data, and they're really treasure troves. The younger generation themselves, 18 to 24-year-olds, here's an example for you, send 3,200 texts a month. And this was actually a stat from back in 2011, so I can't imagine what it's at now. I don't send nearly that. I might send 100. So the jump in how they're using mobile technology it's extreme, and it's amazing, and it's only going to keep going up. A smartphone in itself is a timeline of each person's activity, and not just the mobile sensors. You've got social media, you've got the calls, Somebody talking on Facebook and Twitter and, checking sports scores and doing all these things. All of these create a timeline of exactly what you're doing at any one moment. You can use these smartphones in conjunction with other tasks. So you sync it to computers, and you do backups of your technology and restore it to different phones. There's a huge modding community that works on phones and tries to get them to do different things. So smartphones have really expanded the way that we look at forensics in itself. And when cell phones came out, there were a lot of early challenges. Everybody said, well, why don't you just pull the hard drive out when you're looking at mobile forensics? And you say, well, you can't. There is no hard drive on a cell phone. Well, why don't you just pull the chip off? Well, you can, but as we're going to talk about, that's very destructive. And, you don't necessarily want to do that. And especially early on in brick phones, that wasn't necessarily the case. Everybody thought that, you just hook it up, you pull it off, you hook it up to a write blocker, and you're done. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. And especially early on, there wasn't much, forensic software. Or forensic hardware. You couldn't just hook something up and have it read the data. You had to just look in the phone and get the contacts and get the call logs. It was a very logical, very time-taking endeavor, and it was very difficult to get a really good, thorough examination of a mobile phone. There wasn't very good reporting, and there was a lot of fragmentation among the devices. Some things that we've seen get better over time. Now we've had a lot of advances. There's a lot of standardization. You've got just a few OSs, Android and iOS. Windows is coming on strong. BlackBerry's started to struggle, but they're coming out with new tech as well. You have a lot fewer cables, so companies still want to keep you on their own proprietary, Apple. You've got much more consistent reporting. So you've got HTML, XML, PDF. You can get things in Excel, but most keep it very, very consistent. Instead of handing somebody a CD with a bunch of files on it, now you can print out a very detailed report that's very pretty and very neat. And then there's much more accepted best practices. We have a much more consistent and much more thorough way of doing things in mobile, even though, not necessarily it's widely accepted quite yet. One of the things that is most consistent, though, in mobile is that change is constant. By the way, I love this. This is from this, I think, graphic artist. It's like the Russian dolls kind of thing, but it's from cell phones. And it's an example of how change is constant and consistent in technology. We've gone from those giant brick phones that everybody remembers to, something that can fit on your wrist now, as was demonstrated yesterday. And it's shocking how much change has developed, but it's going to continue in mobile tech. And that presents a lot of challenges for us as mobile forensic investigators. And, we want to talk about some of that today and, detail some of the challenges and what it means for you. And those that we're going to detail are here. We're going to talk about passcodes, communicating, sandboxing, some of the complexity in mobile, encryption, and then remote wiping as well, and some of the issues that entails. First, passcodes. One of the most regular calls that I get is, hey, I've got this phone, it's passcode locked. Can I get around it? I probably get a few of those a week, and it's a great question. The answer is maybe. It really depends on the state of the phone. The first question you should ask yourself is, do you have access already? And it's checking the small things. Do you have ADB access? If you do, you can install an application. You can actually do it directly from via extract that will bypass the lock screen. With that, though, you have to have the understanding, and this will be a consistent theme today, is that that's making a change to your device. You're installing an app, but it gets you beyond the passcode. And just as a general rule of thumb for today's conversation is, all of this is with the understanding that much of this will make modifications to a device. So, use your own judgment, use your own local rules and policies when, implementing any of this. And understand that much of what we'll talk about today is going to make a change. That same app or a similar app you can install via the network. So if you have the Android Google Play Store, you can go in there and install it, using the user's email and password, go into their Play account and then install it from there. Again, that's making a modification to the device, and you also have to check your policy. You can use debug modes. You can use custom recoveries. If the bootloader is unlocked, you can flash, which we'll talk about later. And you can actually remove the gesture key. Same thing with iPhone 4 and below. You can actually brute force a 4-digit PIN. A lot of software today will do that for you. Whereas iPhone 4S, 5, and iPad 2, you have to jailbreak the phone, which obviously makes significant changes to that device. Let's talk a little bit about communicating with the device, which is one of the issues as well. One of the next questions we have is, okay, I've unlocked the passcode. Well, how do we actually talk to it? The Android debug bridge, many of you may be familiar with. You enable USB debugging. This is a screenshot of my phone and a USB debugging screen. If that's enabled, there's significant more that you can access on an Android device. But there are issues with this. If you don't have the correct UDEV rules, you might not be able to communicate with it. If you don't have the correct Windows drivers, then you might not be able to communicate with the phone at all. And also with iOS, you communicate typically through iTunes, especially for logical examination. One of the issues is, iTunes can auto-sync. If you don't have that checked, it might auto-sync and erase some significant data, so you have to be careful. One of the big issues with mobile is the way that they're built. They're built for security, and one of the main features is the sandbox. The sandbox, it creates a container around the application data that is going to protect that data from unauthorized access. So on the left, this is an example of the Android framework, or the way the Android OS is built. And the Dalvik VM, if you can see in that brown little window in the bottom left, is really what kind of sandboxes your data. And it's very, very well protected, and it's very low level. And if you don't have the right access, you can't get into app data. That's why when you're looking at data and it says, cannot open unauthorized access if you're doing a manual examination, that's the Dalvik VM, and that's permission-based. So the sandbox is a key issue, and we're going to talk about a few ways that you typically get around that. First of all, the most important is you want to escalate your privileges. So in Android, this typically means temporary roots. You can use permanent roots, but again, that's a permanent change to the device. Temp are the most forensically sound, which means that once you reset the phone, all the changes have been kind of wiped away. But again, they're going to make the change no matter what. At the very least before when you install the temp root. On iOS, it's jailbreaking, and jailbreaking is a pretty significant change as well. You're actually flashing a whole new file system, or not file system, but system partition to the actual device itself. So you don't touch the user data on iOS; those are separated, but at the same time, you're flashing a whole new system partition, which obviously is making a significant change. If you can, the most forensically sound, especially in Android, is booting to a custom recovery, which gives you typically root access. And we're going to talk about that here. This screen, I don't want to spend too much time on. I'm going to post this later as well, so anybody that wants to watch this or download the PDF later, this will be posted next week. But to get outside the sandbox, these are some of at least my favorite root jailbreaks, custom recovery images, and those sorts of things. And as you can see, there's quite a bit, especially in Android. People are always coming up with new roots, and on iOS, people are coming up with new jailbreaks as well, almost on a daily basis, that you can use to access the devices. Encryption is another significant issue for us when we're talking about mobile forensics, especially on iOS. It's been implemented for some time. On Android, they started implementing full disk encryption on 3.0. The only issue is that when you unencrypt on Android, when you first put in your passcode, it fully decrypts the phone. So unallocated space, anything else on Android, after putting in that first passcode, it's entirely unencrypted, including the unallocated space. Whereas in iOS, it depends on what version you have. So for iOS, iOS 4 and higher enables user data protection. So the unallocated space is going to remain encrypted. Devices originally shipped with iOS 3X, including those running iOS 4 and 5 that were upgraded from iOS 3X without performing the erase install, don't actually have data protection enabled, which means the user data partitions, aren't encrypted. Therefore, on those phones, decryption actually isn't required on iOS. So there's a lot of fragmentation there, and there's a lot of study that you have to do to understand what is encrypted, what is not. But once you understand that, you can actually get a significant amount of data if you know what you're dealing with. There are a lot of ways to defeat the encryption. Some are more rudimentary than others. So for iOS, using Siri, I love the Siri commercials, especially when that launched, where you hit the button and you say, hey, find this, find that. But you can actually say, Siri, show me contact, or Siri, show me no. On a passcode locked device, on an encrypted device, you can double hit because it's made to be used while the device is locked. And so you can grab some very rudimentary data that way without bypassing the phone whatsoever. On iOS 2, you can actually get into the backup. So many users back up their iPhones to their computer, and if it's not protected with a complex passcode, you can usually get it. If they don't check the encrypt button, it's fair game no matter what, and that's a pretty solid logical acquisition for iOS. You can usually get most of the data. If it is protected, but it's a very simple passcode, that can be brute force, and you can use tools and technology to get into those backups and get that data. You can also jailbreak, as discussed, and then one of our researchers published a presentation a little while back about getting data from iCloud and the vulnerabilities that are there. I posted the link. I'm not going to go too detailed into it, but if you're interested, definitely check that out. Android, we've actually at viaForensics created a brute force Android encryption tool that allows you to brute force the encryption. So the actual passcode, if it's a 4-digit passcode, that is built into our current vExtract software. So if you're interested, that's also free on Sensoku Linux. You can download that right now. We provide that for free out in Sensoku Linux as well. There's a lot of fragmentation in Android that we're going to talk about. So anything 2.x and below doesn't even have encryption on it traditionally. So if you get a phone like that, you're fair game. There's a significant lack of implementation. On iOS, it comes fairly standard, but on Android, you actually have to tell it, yes, I want to encrypt this, and it's not as significantly implemented as iOS. If you get the Android device on and the passcode has already been put in upon boot, then encryption has already been deactivated. Android, you can store data on SD cards and backups, which can be unencrypted as well. Another challenge for forensic examiners is the remote wipe. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I think it's important to touch on, which is we have to be careful of making sure that this cell phone or this smartphone is off the network, so that somebody can't send a code or an SMS or whatever it may be to their phone via network, whether it's Wi-Fi or over 3G, 4G, that allows them to wipe the phone and start a remote wipe. So you have to use Faraday bags, as we're all familiar with. Forensic Sims, this is a photo of my phone in airplane mode. If you have the opportunity, you need to pull it off the network. For a phone that you find on, it's one of the first things that you do. One of the key issues in mobile, however, is the complexity. There's a lot of complexity in data analysis, and a lot of that stems from the way that mobile manufacturers and mobile technology changes. iOS, you see significant updates to iOS 6. It's pretty shocking how fast iOS is able to push out their updates, and we'll see the same thing with iOS 7. I think the stat is something like 50% of Apple users will be updated on the next release within a day or two, and it's shocking, the implementation. However, in Android, if you look, 33% are still on 2.3.3 to 2.3.7. You have almost 40% of people on Android still on something lower than 2.3.7. the updates are typically controlled by carriers in Android, so you see a lot of fragmentation in the technology and in what you're going to see on a day-to-day basis. And that creates a significant issue because when you look at the way HTC implements databases and looking at data versus the way Motorola does versus the way a third-party app does, that changes very significantly. And it's not just Android, it's iOS as well. SMS recovery, iMessages, used to have a very different format, first and foremost, than SMS. And people still look at it as SMS. People use iMessages as SMS. But at the same time, it's a very different structure. So when you're looking at that database, you have to understand what you're looking at. And not just that, when you go from iMessage on OS 6.0, and you look at that as compared to iMessage on 6.1, those are two very different data structures. And so you have to understand the way that data plays together. And that can be very challenging for us as forensic examiners. The MMS-SMS.db field in Android varies from carrier to carrier, and not just carrier to carrier, but manufacturer to manufacturer as well. So when you talk about the way Motorola does it versus HTC implements their Sense technology, which allows them to, it's a different overlay. Some of their databases, some of the tables, some of the columns are different and show different values than what you may see on another manufacturer. Apps are constantly in motion as well. Facebook constantly updates itself, and when you're talking about Facebook updating, the app itself is going to change how it's storing that data. And a major release may completely change the way that you look at an app. So being up to date on what apps are doing and how you view databases is important. And then there are timestamps as well. So you look at Android. Android uses Unix Epic, but it can use milliseconds or it cannot. You have to know how to transpose it. Otherwise, you're going to be getting dates in like 159. As the year, and you're going to be looking at it going, what the heck is that? I have no idea why I'm getting that year. But it's because it has the milliseconds attached. iOS uses something that Mac OS X Epic or Unix Epic. It uses it both. So you can see two different date fields, and you have to know which one that you actually want to transpose. I believe Mac OS X Epic is actually timestamped from 2001, whereas Unix Epic is 1970. And there are ways around getting around the complexity. The most important is just, sharpening your skills and also sharpening your software. Regularly attend trainings when possible. I know it's not always possible, but, when it is, go to training. Be diverse in the software choices that you use for your mobile forensics. So, as you're buying, one piece of software, that's going to have some specialities that it does that others don't. So making sure that you're keeping a few on hand as possible to attack the phone or go after data in every way possible. And keeping that software and that hardware up to date is key, and also making sure that you're vetting the product. So understanding what it's doing to your phone. When we talk about a lot of those exploits earlier, I've had some conversations with some examiners who have said, hey, I don't want to do anything to this phone. I don't want to touch this phone whatsoever. And I'd say, okay, what have you done to it so far? And they said, well, I've tried this. I tried Super One Click, or I tried something else. I'm going, wait, hold on. Let's back this up. So, you've already tried something that's done every rooting method, possible to the phone, and it's already probably changed a few things on the phone. And, it's important just to have that awareness. It's something that you can speak to, as long as you can speak to it, but it's important to have the awareness of what is it actually doing to your phone. Most software that you're going to come across is going to push an agent to your phone. Our current VExtract software does that. It's actually going to push an agent to your phone, grab the data, and then uninstall that agent. It's important to know that, and that's why, we're currently deving VExtract 2.0, and we're putting in fairly advanced audits and logs into this, so you know exactly what's going on your phone at every moment that it's connected. I've also put some links to communities that I think are some of my favorites that I use quite a bit, that have very, very vocal and very good information about what's going on in mobile, how to attack mobile, how to get into some of this data and some links of ours as well. So let's talk about the next generation of phones, and we've got our Picard meme there. The next generation, this is not going to stop. So we've got billions of devices on the way, and it's not just going to be phones. You've got the Nest thermostat that can tell you exactly, how warm it is. I believe that's based off Android. You've got LG smart TVs that are the same. Alarm.com that communicates with your home. Another example is microwaves that run off Android. You have a microwave that runs off Android. If you know how to forensically analyze that, if there's a fire, you might be able to figure out that fire was started at the microwave. Somebody started it there and picked it off, and you're able to grab that data. If we have a car that's built on Android, which many are talking about, that can tell us when a person synced a phone, or maybe when they sent a text message, or how hard they braked, or how hard they accelerated, or did they swerve. There's a plethora of data that we can use that this technology, these OSs, are being built into. One of the next techs as well is burner phones. These have been around for a while, but now they're becoming smartphones. The future of burner is smartphone and smartphone technology. Many forensic software already support burner phones. However, we're working on our own. We've done some studies. We've provided free open source tools to law enforcement, U.S. law enforcement, U.S. military, and U.S. government that you can download from our site that allow you to get into these. And again, this comes back to, being diverse in your software and being diverse in your knowledge base. And you try it on one piece of software and it doesn't work. Well, that might be supported by another. The issue with burner phones is that they're just like the tech that we talked about at the beginning, at the very early stages of mobile. It's very diverse, very fragmented, and there aren't a lot of very common communication protocols that you have to get into burner phones. If you like, that's the link right there to our burner phone forensics resources. Please feel free to send me a shout afterwards, and I can send that to you as well. iOS 7 is about to come out. We spoke about it a little bit earlier, but wanted to call it out specifically because they're expanding their Find My iPhone capability. This is actually going to lock the iPhone until, if somebody activates Find My iPhone, the phone is locked entirely until the Apple ID and passcode are entered, and the user can even wipe the phone, and even after a full wipe, the Find My iPhone capabilities, the lock is still there. Third-party application data is also going to be protected on iOS 7, so that the same protection that's on a majority of the data is now going to be pushed to third-party app data as well. Now, the big question is, are there going to be any jailbreaks for iOS 7? I found just a few days ago an article about a jailbreak for iOS 6.1.3 and 6.1.4 on iPhone 4S. Now, this jailbreak is being held back, and our only assumption is because they're pretty confident that it works on iOS 7. So we could very easily see iOS 7 come out and a jailbreak be available immediately for that. We can only hope and keep our fingers crossed. SE Android is the technology that's going to be expanding for Android. It's based on the SE Linux, and the big thing about SE Android is that it's going to have ADB connections authenticated with an RSA key pair. So what that means is when you, as an examiner, are connecting, even if the phone has ADB enabled, and you connect to that phone and you say ADB devices or ADB shell, I want to get into this phone, I want to see what's here, it's going to say, I don't recognize this host system that you're coming from. You need to pair this system with this phone. And unless you have access to bypass the passcode screen, get into the phone and say, yes, I want to pair with this device, it's going to kill your ADB connection. A lot of these, the enhancements were discussed by Paul Olivfora. He's one of our mobile security researchers here at viaForensics. He did a presentation at DEF CON 21 this year called Defeating Security Enhancements for Android. I've posted links to his thoughts on SE Android and also his presentation as well. If you're interested, they're great reads, and we'll really keep you up to date on what's going to be coming up in SE Android. So I know I've been going kind of quick, and I apologize. If you have questions, please feel free to send them again to John Porter. He's either in here as John Porter or viaForensics. I can't tell. I'm not looking at the chat room right now. But send your questions to him. He'll pop them up on my screen, and then I'll go ahead and we'll get those answered as much as possible here. I wanted to take a step back and talk a little bit about, what we're doing here at viaForensics and just a couple things that we've got coming up, especially in the forensics space. First and foremost, we love giving away free stuff. We're very much of the FOSS mindset. We've had free tools out there for years, and we'll continue to give them out and put them out there. One of which is on the right-hand side, you see our Santoku Linux operating system. We've built this. This is for mobile forensics, mobile security, and malware analysis as well. This is free to download. You can get it at santoku-linux.com. And you can download this, and this has a lot of the communication protocols that you need, especially to talk to Android and even some for iOS, already built into it. We have done the burner phone forensics, and that's the tools that we're providing to U.S. law enforcement and government and military as well. And then we also provide AF Logical LE, which is a law enforcement version of our AF Logical software that you can use to get a full logical acquisition, command line, it may be, but from an Android device. We also have a pre-tool section on our website, so I highly recommend you check that out. That's got some scripts that we've developed that you can use to extract data, and you just have to request access from us, and we'll grant it to you for qualified members. We're going to be coming out with viaExtract 2.0 here in October, and we've got viaExtract 1.7 released right now. This is going to be a pretty significant rebuild. So viaExtract 1.7 currently is a very powerful Android logical tool. Android Physical is going to be implemented in viaExtract 2.0 starting in October 2013. Again, it's one that's coming out. We're going to include iOS Logical, iOS Physical, and also these burner resources that I've been telling you about by Q1 of 2014. Now, some of the issues and complexity, something that I didn't talk about earlier, is a lot of people are based on Windows, and that's something that I hear quite a bit when talking to folks about Linux and about Android and about iOS. I'm used to Windows. I've been built on Windows. I don't know Linux. I don't know Mac OS. And so what we try to do is we take these free tools that we're giving out, or we take some of the scripts that we give out, and we automate them, and we put them into our software, and that's what we're going to be doing here. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to reach out. We also do quite a bit of training. We just released a JTAG online training a few months back. That is a very cost-effective solution to those that want to get into JTAG. We showed the passcode screen earlier, and JTAG and ChipOff are two solutions that you can use for phones, but they're typically very disruptive, especially ChipOff. They're very difficult to get correct training, and they're very time-consuming. And so we want to make JTAG very easy, and affordable for you to learn and to understand and to experience. That's why we created that. We've got Linux for mobile, Android, advanced Android, iOS, and advanced file carving as well. So that's pretty much the presentation. I know I went through a lot there in a short amount of time, so I wanted to open it up for a question and answer session. Also, we've got a survey, and we do ask that you fill that out and give us your feedback. And especially if you have any ideas or any thoughts for future webinars, please feel free. We'll take those as well and turn them into webinars in the future as well. But in the meantime, I'm going to start going through some of these questions. So, bear with me as we go through these. First one is, question I have is about being diverse in software is affordability, which is a very great point. Working in the public sector, we can afford limited SMS on products, so we are finite in our response. Is it a case of do the best you can? Absolutely. I think one of the key things is making sure that you're doing research on various tools, finding out which can extract the most data or support the most devices. Android and iOS are obviously large key parts of that. You're going to see they control most of the market share. So you want to focus on something that covers those if that's what you're looking for. If you're seeing a significant increase in burner phones, for example, then you're going to want to look for technology that does something like that. We're very keen and aware to the cost of forensic mobile solutions. The issues that arise, with buying a bunch of different and a very diverse software set is not lost on us. So, we try to keep it affordable, but at the same time, it's making sure that you're finding the right tools and doing your research before you actually get to purchase. You can also look into open source tools. So Santoku, as I mentioned earlier, has some open source forensic software, some timeline analysis that we've built in, and some other tools that you can use, to get a forensic acquisition, and that is all free. One question is, does a remote wipe actually wipe all data on the device, or does it just do a basic reset? So this really depends on the device. There are definitely different wipe options, especially depending on the carrier, that can either erase all the content and settings on the phone or actually overwrite with one, whether it may be. There are lots of apps that claim to do a remote wipe. I've got one on my device that does a pretty good job, but we've tested certain apps, including a Microsoft Exchange remote wipe, that it kicks off the local process and overwrites all the data with one. Other may not do the same. Others may just start the process, and it basically does kind of the same thing as a quick format where it'll wipe away. Especially on the SD card, it'll just wipe away the MFC, and you still have all the data there. So it really depends. Is jailbreaking an acceptable forensic method to acquire data from iPhones or iPads? Again, this goes back to my point of this really depends on where you work and what your local policy is. Any forensic, typically with mobile forensics, you're going to be making changes to a device. Especially with jailbreaking, you're completely overriding the system partition on the device. So that's significant change. Being able to talk to that, speak to that, and say, this is what I did, but it didn't touch the user data. So I flashed the system partition, but I never touched the user data. One technology that I use, that we use pretty extensively for physical acquisitions, is called DC3DD. And what this does is DC3DD does a block-by-block hash on Android especially, which shows you that, hey, look, the overall hash of signature of this phone is maybe different, but here are the specific block hashes of the user data partition, and none of these have changed. And so I can prove to you right here, right now, that the user data is the exact same as it was when I got that phone after the acquisition. This is the data I recovered, and here's how I did it. That's something that you have to be able to speak for. We typically would not jailbreak a device for a case without being given explicit permission. So, we need explicit permission to do something like that. Another question is, how much does it cost to start doing JTAG with equipment and training? That depends. Typically, equipment can run you upwards of thousands to a few $1,000s, depending on your setup. The training itself is typically a few thousand more, so you can be looking anywhere from $5,000 to $78,000 for the full JTAG setup. You can find some for a little bit less expensive. Our JTAG starts at $895 for the actual training itself. That's the full series going through a setup of what you need. Going out and acquiring the right types of equipment and getting a good mobile lab, JTAG lab set up, and goes all the way through not just pulling a PIN or a passcode from the device, but also using that to actually access the device and get a full acquisition. And then another question is, do you have any suggestions on where to find information on jailbreaking iOS devices that bypass user lock codes? Jailbreak itself will depend on the model and the OS version. I put the link in there for the 613, or at least the article about the 613 jailbreak that hasn't been released yet. But a quick Google search for something like jailbreak iPhone 5 6.1.2 will typically give you your option. And again, what you want to do is make sure that you're vetting the technology, the download that you're going to be using, before you actually use it against your phone. Pretty lately, evasion has been a pretty popular jailbreak. You also see red snow out there, though that's typically older model iPhones and that sort of thing. What kind of another question is, what type of data can you get from iPhone backups? Can you get any deleted data? Backups typically contain any data that you can get from a logical acquisition. So you're looking at contacts, SMS, call logs, calendar events, third-party application data, that sort of thing. And then deleted data recovery is possible for anything stored in SQLite databases. So the SQLite databases that you have, if you've actually got the physical SQLite, that's usually going to take any contain any deleted data in there that you're going to be able to extract from it. That typically includes SMS, calendar, and those third-party apps as well. Another question is, how does Windows Phone compare to Android and iOS for forensics? I've recently been doing some research on Windows Phone, and it's very, very difficult to access, for us at least so far. I think a significant part of that is that there isn't as much of a community for Windows Phone as there is for Android and iOS, just because of market share. And so the actual exploits and public hacking that's happened on Android and iOS hasn't really caught on Windows Mobile. So I think as they continue to gain market share, and they are, we're going to see more and more exploits that work against Windows Mobile in the future. Another question is, in regards to the DC3DD hashing, isn't it true with solid state and wear leveling that hash comparison is not as reliable on mobile? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime you're talking about a physical hard drive that you can pull and hook up to a write blocker, you're going to have very consistent hashing. So you're going to see block by block the hashes are exactly the same, because you've got a static hard drive hooked up to a write blocker. You're not going to be making any changes. Whereas with mobile, there's constant wear leveling. There's garbage collecting that's constantly going on your mobile device that you have to have the device on to be able to extract the data. So hashes are likely going to be, there are going to be some differences. If you obtain a mobile phone in a suspect's hand and hash it right there while they're holding it in their hand without doing anything to the phone, 10 minutes later, you can hash it again, and hashes are going to be different. That's why it's important to have some DC3DD where, some of the hashes, yes, are going to be different just because of the way the phones work, but you can prove that the key data hasn't been changed. Let's see if there are any other questions. The iOS physical coming with the 2.0 update, is that limited to iPhone 4 and iPad Generation 1 only, as with other forensics tools? So iOS physical, logical, and burner are going to be coming in ViaExtract 2.1 and beyond. So those are going to be beginning of 1. 2.0 is going to be our Android physical. But at this point, it's limited to those models. However, for the iPhone 4, iPad 2, and higher, these will be supported if they can be jailbroken. So, the release of further jailbreaks in the community will enable us to, provide you with some pretty significant forensics resources if that comes to fruition. Another question is, and thank you for all the questions, guys. We appreciate it, and glad to chat. Can you provide any details as to the SQLite analysis features that are going to be included in the new version of ViaExtract? Perhaps how this will compare to current tools and techniques available. Currently in ViaExtract, we use what's called content providers, which is Android logical. It's actually calling. It's the same thing as on your phone saying, installing an app and your app wants to grab contacts. So it's sitting there, that app is going to say, hey, I need access to the contacts. I'm going to call the contacts content provider. Whereas, in the future version, the logical is going to still be there, but, physical tools for SQLite analysis are going to be implemented. We've done some significant testing in SQLite database, deleted data recovery. that we're looking to implement. We're also going to implement some of the technology that some of the research that we've done. For example, we know what format of SMS messages in iOS 6.01 is different than that 6.1, and we're going to include that research into there so that when you connect your device, we're automatically detecting what kind of device that is and implementing that tech into VxTrack. And the more that we're able to study devices, the more that we're doing case studies like that, we're going to be able to better automate recovery of that data as well. So unless there are any other questions, I'm going to hang out here for just a minute or two. But again, we appreciate everybody attending, and please fill out the survey there. A little bit more about myself if you want to get in touch. There's our office phone number. My name is obviously Kevin Swartz. You can contact me at kswartz@viaForensics.com. And then if you're interested in more information on VxTrack or training or anything like that, send us an email at sales@viaForensics.com, and we'd be happy to chat about that as well. So if there are no other questions, thank you so much for attending. This will be posted online next week, mid-next week. We're going to have the full version of it, the recording of this online. So keep an eye out for that, and then thank you so much.